This is part 8 of the manhwa. If you haven't seen the previous parts, you can find the links in the description below or by clicking the I button above. Let's begin our recap. Jean quietly observed the scene, her expression unreadable. They're still deciding everything on their own, just like always, she thought disapprovingly. Her eyes moved toward Yoon Han, who stood attentively beside Baek Ju Ryong, speaking with practiced politeness. That man must be one of Baek Ju Ryong's subordinates. He's flattering her so naturally it's like second nature. Disgusting. Just then, Woo Mun stepped forward and approached Yoon Han. Guards for us, you say? He asked calmly, surveying the group of men that had been brought. But as he looked more closely, his thoughts grew skeptical. Wait, what is this? One of them reeks of alcohol. Drunk. And that posture, he's never done any physical labor. Another one looks like he's learned martial arts the wrong way. His stance is a mess, his balance is off. They're worse than useless. Woo Mun narrowed his eyes. Honestly, teaching complete novices would be easier than trying to fix these clowns. This feels like a deliberate insult. They're trying to trick us, but I'll turn this around. He raised a hand and said, Wait a moment. We need to speak among ourselves first. Yoon Han gave a slight bow. Of course. We'll be waiting. Inside the room, Woo Mun gathered his parents. Sung Dae-won was the first to voice his doubts. Will that really work? Wouldn't it be better to just go with the men they gave us? They're useless, Woo Mun replied flatly. And more importantly, they've been living inside the Iron Blade back house for years. They could easily turn against us. We can't risk that. Jean nodded in agreement. They're not even worth considering. Do as you see fit. Thank you, mother, Woo Mun said with a respectful nod. When he returned outside, he faced Yoon Han. We won't be using those men. Instead, I'd like you to bring me 10 children from the slums or the orphan district. Will that be all right? Yoon Han raised a brow. Children? Why would you need children? It's something my father has always wanted, Woo Mun explained with a gentle smile. He wished to help less fortunate children. He believed no harm would come to us in a place as secure as the Iron Blade back house. He said it would be better to raise children than to rely on strangers with unclear loyalties. Yoon Han bowed slightly. I see. I'll dismiss these men and speak to the upper council about bringing in outsiders. Please do, Woo Mun replied. An hour later, Yoon Han returned. The upper council has granted permission. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Thank you, Woo Mun said, offering a courteous smile. Everything's going according to plan. He then turned to the thugs who had been following him. You come with me. They exchanged nervous glances. Where to now? Before long, they arrived at Hefei Market. Woo Mun approached a passerby. Is there a slum or orphan district nearby? The man pointed. That way. Thank you. As they proceeded through the slum, a boy bumped into Woo Mun and walked away without a word. Moments later, in an alley, the boy opened a pouch filled with coins. Whoa, look at all this, he said, laughing gleefully. But before he could celebrate further, a shadow loomed over him. Woo Mun stood there, eyes narrowed. Brat. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? The boy's eyes widened in panic. He immediately threw punches at Woo Mun, who dodged with ease. No key, Woo Mun noted, but his movements, he's got potential. His form is raw, but natural. Are you a martial artist? The boy asked, trying to kick. Woo Mun caught his leg. Impressive. You've got spirit. How about it? Want to come with me? The boy yanked his leg away. The hell are you talking about? Let go, you crazy bastard! I'm some Woo Mun of the Iron Blade back house. I'm looking for guards, he said calmly. Interested? Who recruits guards like this? Let go! Turning to the thugs, Woo Mun said. This brat's got a filthy mouth. Still, it's probably just the environment he grew up in. I'll overlook it. Hey, doctor, tie him up. Make sure he doesn't run. Yes, sir, Doctor responded, grabbing rope. Hey! Let go! What are you doing? Untie me! The boy shouted. Shall I hand you over to the law then? Woo Mun said coldly. Pickpocketing is a crime. Is that what you want? The boy paused. If I go with you, you won't hand me over? Nope. I guarantee, coming with me will be better than rotting in a cell. Fine. Do what you want. All right. Woo Mun nodded. Let's move on. Yes, sir, the thugs echoed. A little later, in a narrow alley, Woo Mun spotted another boy washing laundry in a bucket. His lean, long arms moved rhythmically. Those arms strong and flexible. He'd be perfect with a bow. Natural talent. Hey boy! Woo Mun called. The boy turned. Yes, sir? I'm recruiting guards. You look like you could be useful. Want to join me? The boy hesitated. I've never fought before. I don't know any martial arts either. Honest and humble, Woo Mun thought, smiling. That's fine. I'll teach you. But you'll have to live with us in our clan. Is that all right? Are you purchasing me? Of course not, Woo Mun said. I'm hiring you. The boy nodded. Then I need my parents' permission. Fair. Take me to them. Inside their modest home, Woo Mun explained everything. The boy's father was stunned. You're not buying him, but you'll feed him and train him? This money, how could we accept it? You must, Woo Mun insisted. It's for your peace of mind. I'll teach him well. Tears welled in the mother's eyes. Thank you. Thank you for taking our son into the Iron Blade Back House. As they walked away, the boy said quietly, I've heard that the Iron Blade Back House only accepts the most talented warriors. Thank you for choosing me. Then repay me with hard work. Woo Mun replied. Then he paused. Say, since you live here, you must know others who are talented? What kind of talent? Anything. I'll decide. The boy led him to 3 more kids, one with a deadly accurate throw, another swift as the wind, and one built like an ox. Incredible, Woo Mun thought. There's more talent here than I ever imagined. This is promising. All right, Woo Mun said. Let's head back. But just then, the pickpocket from earlier shouted. Wait. I have a little sister. Please let me see her before we leave. And untie me. I want to be treated the same as the others. Woo Mun gave him a long look. You still don't get it. Why should a thief be treated the same as innocent children? Then keep me tied up. Just let me see my sister. She's waiting for me. Woo Mun studied his eyes. Those eyes, they're sincere. Fine, he said. Lead the way. They arrived at a crumbling hut. See old Gunha, the boy called out. Woo Mun's gaze shifted to the shelter. They live here? All these children, how can they live like this? The girl stepped out and froze at the sight of her tied-up brother, dropping the book in her hand. Wait, that's the classic of poetry. One of the 5 classics. That's a scholar's text. How did a girl in this condition get such a book? Woo Mun picked it up and handed it to her. Take care of this. It must be important to you. The girl, with tears in her eyes, pleaded. Please let my brother go. It's my fault. I'm the one who can't work. He takes care of me. No! Give her the money! The brother shouted. Then I'll go with you. The girl looked at Woo Mun. What money? Where are you taking him? Calm down, Woo Mun said. Let me explain. A little later, after he told her everything, she lowered her head. I know it's shameless, but please take me too. I can clean, wash, anything. I won't be a burden. Woo Mun stared at her, stunned. He didn't answer right away. His heart wavered in that moment of silence. As the pickpocket struggled in his bindings, he shouted desperately. Please take my sister too. She's honest and really smart. I beg you, please. Woo Mun paused at those words, his gaze sharpening. That girl, 10 silver coins won't protect someone like her in the orphan district. Without her brother, she'd be in even greater danger. He sighed inwardly. I can't save everyone here, but this is how it begins. Small steps. Then he nodded. Fine, he said. She'll come with us. The siblings' eyes widened in surprise and gratitude, and they bowed deeply, saying, Thank you. Some time later, the group returned to the lodging house Woo Mun had arranged for the Gwang Yakui trio. He gestured to the boys and said, You'll be staying here from now on, under the care of the Gwang Yakui trio. The boys immediately shouted with joy and ran inside, eyes wide with wonder. Wow! This place is amazing! It's so clean! It doesn't smell bad either! One of them added with excitement. I'll work really hard to deserve this. Inside, the 3 members of the Gwang Yakui trio stared in bewilderment as the children stormed in. Doctor muttered under his breath. What the hell is this? Everything's gone to hell. This place is way too small for all of them. Yakui folded his arms and grumbled. That bastard Song Woo Mun has a huge house all to himself and dumps everyone else here. Meanwhile, back at Woo Mun's lodge, His mother Jean questioned him with a worried expression. Are you truly sure about this? It'll be a long time before those children can become real warriors, and they're your responsibility now. Woo Mun answered steadily. I understand your concern, mother. But I'll take care of them. Don't worry. Jean let out a quiet sigh. Fine. I notice you brought a girl too. I'll take care of her myself. Woo Mun blinked. I was actually going to ask you about that. Thank you, mother. Later, Jean sat in a warm bath with the girl, Seo Gunha, gently scrubbing her back. Despite everything, she's quite mature for her age. Poor, yes, but she carries herself with dignity. After bathing, she examined the girl more closely. Her skin is pale, her chin delicately sharp, she's a pretty child. Still a little shy and reserved, but that'll change in time. Jean's thoughts drifted. Woo Mun left again the moment he returned. What is he off doing this time? The scene shifted to a nearby guest lodge where Yun Si-hyun was staying. She and Woo Mun sat across from each other at a low table. I've been thinking of starting a merchant corps, she said. I want to train in martial arts here while rebuilding the Noble Lee Merchant Guild. A merchant corps? Woo Mun raised an eyebrow. Yes, she nodded. Our family's legacy was commerce. I want to start over here in Hefei. And don't worry, I already got permission from the great master. Looking at her, Woo Mun noticed the fire in her eyes, the determination. There it is. She's truly back on her feet now. He nodded. Sounds great. I'll support you however I can. You would? Her eyes lit up. Thank you so much. You'll need funds to get started, right? He asked. Actually. She reached into her sleeve and pulled out a small, gleaming gem. It's a night glow gem, extremely valuable. But carrying it around ourselves could be dangerous. Would you accompany us for protection? Woo Mun smiled. Absolutely. I'll help. Thank you, she said again, bowing slightly. Of course. Anything for my junior disciple. That last line seemed to startle her, and for a moment she stared at him. But Woo Mun stood and stretched. I'll take my leave now. Stay safe, she replied softly as he walked out. As he left, Woo Mun thought, once the guards are trained and the merchant corps is up and running, it'll be a huge asset. I still need to find more suitable candidates. Can't stop at just a few. The following days, Woo Mun scoured the city in search of potential guards, but despite his efforts, he found no one else worth recruiting. He eventually returned home, disappointed. I've searched for days, but no one else stands out. For now, I'll just focus on training the ones I already have. When he stepped through the gate, his father, Sung Dae-won, quickly turned away, trying to hide his face. Woo Mun immediately noticed something was off. Wait, father, what happened to your eye? It looks swollen. His father waved it off. It's nothing. I'm fine. But Woo Mun stepped closer, grabbing him by the shoulders and turning him to get a better look. You definitely got hit. Father, who did this? Who dared to hit you? I did get hit, Sung Dae-won admitted. But you mustn't get involved. It was a fair spar. A spar? Woo Mun's voice rose. You've only just started training. Who would spar with a beginner like you? Don't tell me you initiated it. At that moment, Jean walked up, arms crossed. He did. Your father challenged them first. What? Woo Mun turned to her in disbelief. He challenged someone? Come inside. I'll explain everything, she said. Then to her husband. You stay outside for a bit. Inside the lodge, Jean explained. Baekju Raung came by yesterday. During her visit, she kept mocking us, belittling both me and your father. Eventually, your father snapped and challenged John Yoon-song to a spar, Baekju Raung's husband, a Shaolin disciple. John Yoon-song, Woo Mun repeated. So my father lost? Yes, Jean admitted quietly. Woo Mun clenched his fists. So that's how it is. This won't be the last time something like this happens. His eyes darkened. I won't let this continue. Never again. Woo Mun approached his father, Sung Dae-won, with a small vial in hand. Father, drink this, he said firmly. Sung Dae-won eyed the vial suspiciously. What is that? Before he could protest further, Woo Mun grabbed his father's hand and insisted. Just open your mouth, I'll help you. Don't worry. Wait, what even is this? Just trust your son for once, Woo Mun said, cutting off his father's hesitation. With a swift motion, he pried open his father's mouth and let a single drop of a glowing, blue elixir fall onto his tongue. Immediately, he clamped his father's mouth shut with his hand. Keep your mouth closed. Don't let the key escape. Let the essence of the hollow bluestone ichor seep in. Sung Dae-won was stunned, but he obeyed. Now focus, Woo Mun instructed. Move your key according to my directions. Following his son's guidance, Sung Dae-won began circulating the key. Hours passed and then, I feel it, he shouted, his voice ringing with astonishment and delight. There's so much power coursing through me. I feel like I could take down anyone. Woo Mun, my boy, I think I've become a true expert. Maybe I can even beat your grandfather Baek San-gun now. Woo Mun scoffed, shaking his head. Don't be ridiculous. You might be able to hold your own against John Yoon-sung now, but defeating grandfather? Not even close. You're still lacking in technique and adaptability. But I feel so powerful. It's not just about power. Woo Mun snapped. Right now, your only job is to stabilize the hollow bluestone ichor's key in your body and absorb the leftover energy from the elixir. That's all. Sung Dae-won asked, half serious. So I really can't beat him? There's absolutely no way. Woo Mun replied flatly. So just do as I say and keep training. All right. His father grinned, raising a fist triumphantly. I'll train hard, starting today. Watching him, Woo Mun's expression turned colder. Those arrogant bastards. I'll make sure they never look down on my family again. Starting tomorrow, I'll train the guards seriously. The next day, Woo Mun gathered the children and orphans who would serve as his future guards. Attention, everyone! They immediately stood in formation, responding in unison. Yes, sir! Woo Mun looked them over. Now that you've had proper meals and rest, you all look much better. From today onward, we begin your elite training. This won't be anything like what Doctor taught you. This will be far more intense. Understood? Yes, sir! The first thing we'll work on is your stamina. Begin with a horse stance, arms raised, legs wide. You will hold this stance until lunchtime. As the children shifted into position, Woo Mun walked among them, observing. Not long after, he noticed the boy beginning to lower his arms. You there! Raise your arms! He barked. The boy immediately corrected himself, arms trembling as sweat rolled down his brow. One by one, the children began to shake with strain, their bodies reaching their limits. Their stamina still lacking, but they're enduring it better than expected, Woo Mun thought, impressed. At that moment, an unfamiliar voice rang out behind him. Oh my, are those the street rats I've been hearing about? Turning around, Woo Mun saw a woman approaching with a young boy at her side. Baek Ju-raung and her son, Baek Hun-won. Woo Mun recognized them instantly. He approached and greeted her respectfully. Hello, Woo Mun, Ju-raung said with a honey tone. I believe this is our first time having a proper conversation. Is your mother home? She is. Please follow me. As they made their way inside, her son slowed his steps, watching the boys in horse stance with a mix of curiosity and disdain. What are you guys doing? Hun-won asked them bluntly. Alarmed, Ju-raung called out to her son. Oh dear, don't get too close. You might catch a disease. Woo Mun furrowed his brow slightly. She really said that out loud? Hun-won added. Even low-level warriors don't do horse stance anymore. I was just curious. He doesn't even know the importance of basic stances, Woo Mun thought. Just wait. I'll show you soon enough. Inside, Ju-raung greeted Jin with a sly smile. Hello, Aunt Jin. Hello, Ju-raung. Jin replied coolly. And where is your husband? He went to the restaurant. Jin said plainly. Ju-raung chuckled. Oh? I thought he'd be in the sick room after yesterday's spar. They really came all the way here just to mock us, Woo Mun thought bitterly. And your father? Ju-raung continued. Jin replied calmly. You know he's not the type to sit still. He has business elsewhere these days. I can't let them know father's gone far away. Who knows what they'd try if they found out. Right, always the restless type. But Aunt, what was it you used to do again? Jin narrowed her eyes. She knows full well. I managed an inn. Oh, a business manager. That must have been quite a large operation, for your husband's little inn. Ju-raung said with exaggerated sweetness. It was just a small countryside inn. Jin answered firmly. A small inn? Ju-raung chuckled. Forgive me. That was rude of me. It's all right. Jin said. I'm not ashamed of it. I'd be more ashamed of belittling someone for their job. Serves you right, you smug witch, Ju Ryong thought. You always acted high and mighty, but now look at you, married to that fool and running a rundown household. For years, Baek Ju Ryong and her sister Baek Hae Ryong harbored jealousy toward Baek Jin Jin. Despite being older, they were always forced to respect her due to her martial prowess, her poise, and, most of all, her stunning beauty. All the boys were enamored with her. That envy had festered into hatred. Back in the present, Jin Jin asked, "That boy with you, your son?" "Yes," Ju Ryong replied proudly. "This is my son. I am Baek Hunwon," he said politely. "A pleasure to meet you," Jin Jin replied. "He's only reached the 8th step of the 13 steps of Ironblade so far," Ju Ryong added modestly. "And he's barely on the 4th step of the Baek Divine Arts. Not much to boast about." Liar, Jin Jin thought. That's extremely impressive for his age. And she says it like it's nothing. Then Ju Ryong turned her attention to Woo Mun. "Oh dear me, I've talked too much about myself. I nearly forgot about you, Woo Mun. I heard such scandalous rumors from the servants. They say you used to be called an idiot when you were young. But that can't be true, can it? You look like such a bright boy now." "Not this again," Woo Mun thought with an inward sigh. "I'm so tired of hearing about this." He smiled politely. "Unfortunately, the rumors are true. I was foolish and immature as a child, so people called me an idiot." "Nonsense," Hunwon said with exaggerated concern. "To think anyone would call my clever younger brother that. By the way, have you learned much martial arts?" "I've learned enough," Woo Mun said with a faint chuckle. Ju Ryong's expression twitched with satisfaction. "Oh, is that so? Got them again. Like father, like son," she thought smugly. "Well, it just so happens that my son has been looking for a sparring partner. Would you mind sparring with him?" She wants to humiliate me, Woo Mun realized. If I refuse, I'll look like a coward. If I accept, they expect me to lose. He turned to Jin Jin with a grin. "Mother, I'm scared." "What do you think?" Jin Jin smirked slightly and said, "Go ahead." Woo Mun smiled brightly. "All right then." A short while later, Woo Mun and Baek Hunwon arrived at the Baek clan's training arena, ready for their sparring match. Hunwon turned to Woo Mun with a faint smile and said, "Very well then, why don't you unsheathe your sword first, sir?" Woo Mun nodded, playing along with the courteous tone. "All right, nephew." But inwardly, he was amused. Now he's trying to act all polite? He's clearly mocking me. He grabbed the hilt of his sword and tried to draw it, but it wouldn't budge. He gave it another tug. "Why won't this come out? Damn it, is it rusted shut?" With a sigh, he gave up. "Whatever. I'll just use it as it is, with the scabbard on. You go ahead and draw yours." Hunwon raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure about that?" "Yep," Woo Mun replied casually. "It's fine." Without hesitation, Hunwon unsheathed his sword with a flourish. "As you wish. Since you're my senior, I shall humbly accept the advantage." Woo Mun smirked. "Let's begin, then." Without waiting a second, Hunwon surged forward, launching a precise strike at Woo Mun. Woo Mun brought his sheathed blade up and blocked it cleanly. So this is the famed 13 steps of the Iron Blade, Woo Mun thought. It packs a punch, I'll admit that. Hunwon narrowed his eyes. He blocked it? Interesting. Maybe he's not as much of an idiot as they said. Time to get a bit more serious. He suddenly burst into a rapid flurry of thrusts, his sword dancing forward like a snake. But Woo Mun shifted nimbly, dodging them all with surprising ease despite his awkward stance. "What the?" Hunwon was startled. "He's avoiding every strike, even in that clumsy posture?" Frustrated, he launched another strike, faster and sharper than before. Woo Mun met it head on, blocking once again. Hunwon's confidence wavered. He blocked it again. This is getting annoying. Irritated now, Hunwon unleashed a full-force strike, pouring in all the internal ki he had. But even then, Woo Mun held his ground and parried the blow, though the sheer force pushed him back a few steps. Stunned, Hunwon stared in disbelief. This can't be happening. How is this fool blocking everything? Woo Mun looked back at him and grinned. That looked intense. Hunwon's face twisted in anger. He's laughing? This bastard, he's mocking me. From the sideline, his mother, Baek Ju Ryong, called out sharply. My son, stop playing around already! Hunwon nodded. Yes, mother. He leapt back into action, swinging his sword in a renewed barrage of attacks. Woo Mun continued to defend himself with fluid grace, easily deflecting the flurry. With a sly grin, he said, "So this whole time you were holding back, huh, nephew? That explains it. For a moment I thought I'd suddenly gotten stronger, since you seemed to be giving it your all." Hearing that, Won clenched his teeth. "This is my full strength. I'd been fighting seriously this whole time." At that moment, Woo Mun finally countered, with a single swift strike. His sheathed sword smashed into Won's face, snapping one of his teeth and sending a spray of blood from his mouth as he dropped to one knee. "Oh no," Woo Mun said innocently. "I'm so sorry. My hand must have slipped." Still coughing and clutching his face, Won stared at his broken tooth in disbelief. Before he could react further, Woo Mun struck again, this time an uppercut with the scabbard to Won's chin, sending him sprawling on his back. "I thought you dodged that," Woo Mun said mockingly. "Does it hurt, nephew? My apologies. Please forgive me." Enraged, Won forced himself back up and roared, "It's not over yet!" He gathered his ki and launched a ki blast at Woo Mun, who flipped into the air and evaded it with ease. He landed with perfect balance, right on top of Won, driving a kick into his gut that flattened him to the ground. Won coughed up blood and dropped his sword in pain. From the sideline, Ju Ryong's voice rang out, sharp with fury. "That's enough!" Woo Mun turned to her, calm and unbothered. "Enough? But he's the one who challenged me to a spar in the first place." Won struggled up, eyes burning with rage. "You son of a bitch! How dare you look down on me?" Woo Mun's eyes gleamed. "There it is, just what I was waiting for." He raised his voice so all could hear. "Did you just insult me? Let me remind you, regardless of your age, I am your superior in rank. And I'm quite aware how seriously the Ironblade Beck clan treats hierarchy. You insolent fool!" With that, he struck out with a palm coated in ki, directly to Won's face. The blow sent him soaring through the air, crashing outside the arena and landing right beside his shocked mother. Ju Ryong's aura suddenly flared with violent intensity, as she released her ki in fury. Woo Mun turned his gaze toward her, measuring her power. "I heard she was stronger than the current head of the clan. And now that I'm seeing it, she definitely has a formidable amount of ki." "Why are you so angry, Aunt?" he said with a smile. "It was just a little injury, the kind that can happen during an intense sparring match. Just like what happened to my father." Before she could respond, Woo Mun added, "Though, don't you have more important things to worry about? Like getting your son to a physician?" She cursed at him, trembling with rage. Woo Mun looked at her, his eyes cold. "You tried to kill my mother and made it look like an accident. This is just the beginning. I will make you pay." From the sideline, Jin watched it all silently. Her thoughts were tangled. He's provoking them on purpose, to create reasons for retaliation. When did my son become someone like this? He might grow to be more like his grandfather than his father. I'm not sure whether to be proud or afraid.
We got plenty more where that came from. Hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for even more amazing content.